Jones from Truck Parking Club here. I'm the Vice President of Property Member Optimization over at Truck Parking Club. Today we have a very special guest. His name's Adam Tello. He's the COO and partner over at ALC Investment Group. He actually takes the cake from me because he had his properties on Truck Parking Club before I had my property. So with, having said that, Adam, I'm not worthy, but I'm so happy that you're here. So feel free to make an introduction and we'll kind of get into it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on here. And no one can wear that tie just like you can.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
But yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I met Evan several years ago, and I think he only had like 7 locations back then. And I think I was the 8th location. And I'm like, who's this guy doing Truck Parking Club? I'm like, man, it's a great idea. I think I told him when I met him, I'm like, man, you are going to blow up, right? Because it's something that when I got in the industry 3 years ago, I seen that was a need. And the cool thing about Truck Parking Club is that when it comes to truck parking, it's very consistent, right?
Right.
Especially when it comes to our storage business, which is mainly the drayage and 53-foot trailers, that
Right.
comes in waves, whereas truck parking is everyone that lives locally has and needs this place to stay. So, so anyways, going back to how we started a couple years ago, we started with our 1 location, and now we have 7 locations working towards 9. And it's been an amazing journey to see truck parking just grow, between you, Evan, Jenny, Paul, you guys have an amazing crew, and I'm super thankful to be a part of your process.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that listen to this and they're like brand new to truck parking. Like
Yeah.
they've never heard of it. Or maybe they're a seasoned, veteran like yourself, which there's not too many of us out there.
Mhm.
Kind of tell us the story of like that little spark of how you got into truck parking. Like, what was the moment where you're like, you know what, I'm going to get into the drayage, truck parking kind of trailer storage business than, other types of real estate?
Yeah, so I own some properties as well. Manny, who is my partner, as well as Abby, in this business, ALC division. Uh,
Hmm.
he used to be one of my customers at my nutrition store, and he came in and he was my customer for 8 years. And I got out of ASU, where I played Division I football. I lost 80 pounds. Yeah, forks up. 80 pounds in 3 months, and I developed like a need to help other people lose weight, build muscle, help kids, and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up getting into the nutritional business, and Manny was one of my customers. We ended up selling those off after 8 years of being in the business. Once
Hmm.
social media came out and Amazon blew up, the competition for supplements kind of grew scarce. So then we ended up exiting that. Uh, and Manny and I just kind of stayed connected via Facebook. And he's like, "Hey, what are you up to? Come by my office in Norco, California." So I stopped in, and it was just kind of like, "Hey, how's it going? How's the wife? How's the kids and everything?" And someone brought him an invoice for a storage yard. And before that, obviously, he was using other yards. I've realized it's a very common expense in this industry.
Hmm.
And once I seen the invoice, I was like, "Well, what is the storage yard?" He explained what it was, and that's when kind of our light bulbs went off, and like, well, let's just do this together. Obviously, him being so busy in Talon, he has customers like Starkist, Wayfair, Staples, so he's so busy in his day to day. He's like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, I would love to do it, but I just don't have the time." And at that time, again, I was in transition. So I'm a believer, but I'm not a perfect man. But I was driving through the city of Ontario,
Yeah.
and God told me to knock on someone's door and offer them some money for their property. And once I did that, Manny then brought in all the inventory. We built a relationship with different customers, different carriers, and we grew from 1 location to 7 locations in about 14 months.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, and again, not coming from the industry, I knew that there was, Manny kind of clarified that there was a lack of care when it came to storage yards, right? A lack
Yeah.
of service when it came to the customers being responsive, knowing having the proper security, the proper lighting, and all those other things. So, in creating this company, we wanted to make it better, right? He ended up bringing on his wife as a CEO, which is my partner, my boss, I always say, and
Yeah.
we've been growing ever since. Obviously, it's been a huge blessing, right?
Yeah.
As far as being able to create this opportunity out of nothing, and then continue to still grow, right? And for us as a yard division, we pride ourselves as how can we get better, right? How can we evolve? How can we offer more for our customers, right?
Hmm.
And the cool thing about that is we're actually working on a yard right now to where we're going to have drivers, amenity lounge, showers. We're going to have office space that you can rent out. We're going to have EV charging stations, a mechanic shop, tire shop. So obviously, starting with just bare dirt was awesome, right?
Right.
And the fencing, the lighting, all that stuff. But it's like, how do we evolve and continue to offer more for our customers? And at the end of the day, the partnership between ALC and truck parking has been amazing, right? Um,
Great.
we started off with a onesie twosie booking, and now we're getting fleet deals and approaching six figures a month with you guys. You know what I mean? So it's amazing, right? I get text messages every single day. New booking, new booking, new booking,
Yeah, I remember
expired
seeing that.
booking, expired booking. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're super thankful to not only get in this business, but to have partners like you that have been a part of our growth. So.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's a really good segue because as you know, there's most of our properties that are on the platform today, they're newer, right? They're less than a year old, and you've been around since the beginning. My property's been around, a little bit after yours, but still since the beginning.
Yeah.
How do you kind of see like not only your business but also truck parking club and then the truck parking industry as a whole? How's that kind of changed just in like this 2 year period? Like really since we all started. I mean, I have my own thoughts, but I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, trucking is never going away. It's always going to be there. I think the problem that a lot of these drivers are experiencing is there's nowhere to park, right? All these guys live in communities where they're not allowed to park their rigs, or they don't want to park it too far where it's 20 miles away in a secured yard. They want to stay local. So, with all the housing development that's going up in every city across the country, it's creating a scarcity of space for these drivers to be able to stay local, be close to their assets, but still be able to be close enough to home as well. So, as far as what I've seen in the last couple years, I've seen an influx of truck parking, right? And like I was saying, when it comes down to a revenue source, I like the truck parking. It's a very good stream because, again, once you get you're offering everything you can for that customer. He feels like your yard is safe, secured, has all the proper measures. He's able to do things on site to take care of his asset. Then it just creates really consistency when it comes to that revenue source. And like I said, when it comes to fleet deals, you can get 20, 30 units, but you can lose them in a month, right?
Right.
Whereas with truck parking, it's pretty consistent. Those guys are going to stay in those slots as long as you allow them to.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of like the question, right? Like how do you think your business would fare if, Truck Parking Club wasn't around? I mean, personally, I don't think I'd be as good. I couldn't have this conversation, right? I'd be, full-time operator myself, but in your eyes, how would your business shift? I mean, like I mean, I've never asked this question. How do you think it would look,
I got an
honestly?
answer for you because at the end of the day, you got to think about what truck parking offers. They're doing the marketing, right? They're
Mhm.
finding the clientele, they're booking the clientele, they're collecting payments, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're ensuring that, they're collecting if let's just say that if someone in the yard is past due, we get notifications and then we can go, whatever, lock down that asset, whatever it is. So
Right.
you have five different jobs that you're doing on a daily basis. I mean, you guys are doing for us, right?
Right.
So it would be what I'm trying to say is that Truck Parking Club makes it so easy, right?
Yeah.
Um, as long as you have the dirt, as long as you have the amenities, you're going to find the customers, right? Like I said, every day I'm getting 30, 40 text messages a day, new booking, new booking, new booking, expired booking. My guards get the same notification. So with that aspect, they're able to monitor who's allowed to come in the yard, who's not allowed to come in the yard. Another cool thing that I
Mm-hmm.
know you helped develop was the gate system, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now it's with the geo fencing. Even if you don't have guards, most of my locations have guards 24/7,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the ones that don't, they just pull up, and that's going to either say a green light or red light. I mean, I think that's a game changer, right?
Yeah.
Because even from my perspective, when it comes to expenses, is obviously a lot of my yards are not just truck parking. They have, loaded assets and whatnot.
Right.
So a lot of my customers require 24/7 guards, but if they didn't, you're saving me 20, 25 grand a month now because you have the system that's saying yes or no as you enter the yard. So
Yeah.
from that perspective, just to kind of bring it full circle, you guys are taking on a lot of jobs that we're not having to do as property owners, as well as bring in the revenue for us, so you kind of make it all oop slam dunk.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, we could.
yeah,
We're down with that. No, I
yeah.
agree with that. And one thing, and this is, I get this question a lot from other kind of real estate developers,
Mhm.
when they're first getting into this, right? They have this kind of like misnomer or like kind of stereotype of like what truckers are. So they're like, we would never get into the truck parking business. But, in my experience, they've been some of the best customers I've ever had in real estate ever, like, especially in the storage business, 100% better than them. In your kind of experience, I mean, do you feel similarly? Have you had any kind of struggles, or what would you kind of tell somebody that's hesitant to build like a truck parking or lease a truck parking facility, right? Or operate one?
Yeah, in that aspect, if you have a facility, lease a portion of it and see how it goes. At the end of the day, I think truck parking has been a consistent revenue stream. Not only that, from the customer standpoint, these are all hardworking Americans that are on the
Yeah,
road, that are away from their families, that just want a place to stay, right? Have we had some instances? Maybe a guy maybe scraping another one. Obviously, that's kind of inevitable, but that's why you have the security, the lights, cameras. The more lit the yard, the better it is for them to maneuver, right? So bringing it full circle, it's like, yeah, a lot of these guys are again living on the road, and they just need a place to stay and uh, take a shower or whatever, eat some lunch, or go to a hotel and get a fresh shower. So
yeah.
I haven't had bad experiences with the customers when it comes to tractor trailers.
I,
From yeah.
Man,
So
I agree. No, and
mhm.
I love my customers. Even one of my customers at my site today in Midland, he's one of my partners now. Like he was
Oh,
my
nice.
first customer. Oh yeah, Ramon. Shout out to Ramon, man. I love you, man. He's done so much for me and for us and even for Truck Parking Club, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
shout out Ramon. I appreciate you. But
that's
going
awesome.
back, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
going back to you, right?
Mhm.
And kind of how do you kind of see the future of this business, right? So I'm thinking like more amenities, much more technology. Truck parking club's doing a great job at that. But how do you see the bigger, broader future, 5, 10 years down the road, and not just for everybody, but for you?
Mhm. Yeah, so I think the main thing is keep evolving, right? You know what I mean? Always see how you can it's all about the customers. I know you guys are all about that. I'm all about that. How do I make it more comfortable for them to be there?
Yeah,
How do I offer more for them to want to be at my location versus other locations, right?
right.
Obviously, location is key, just like in any storage business. But yeah, it's again, I think creating more of a one-stop shop solution for these drivers is the key, and the future of staying in this business and staying ahead.
Yeah,
If that
and for you, like, obviously you're expanding. Super
answers.
cool to see that. I mean, you're almost at 9.
Mm.
And I mean, is your goal to be one of the biggest operators? Like, I mean, you don't have to answer, but we're just all curious.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I just take it as it comes.
Got it.
If opportunities that come to me, then obviously I take advantage of them, right? And I like problem solving, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I don't, yes, I go hunt when it's needed, but the Lord has been in my favor and He's brought a lot of opportunities my way and people in my life, like you, like Evan, like Manny, like Abby, and
Hmm.
He just keeps providing the way. Until He doesn't, then, at the end of the day, uh, the way I feel is that if he's going to present the opportunity, I need to take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
And capitalize on that opportunity. And so, yeah, as far as the goal, it's not to be massive. It's not to be insanely, wealthy. At the end of the day, it's about providing for our customers. It's providing for my family and our families collectively as a company.
I love to hear that.
Mm,
You're a humble dude. I've looked up to you, and even before I even met you, I knew about your company when
yeah.
before I really got ingrained with Truck Parking Club. So, and I know a lot of people listening feel the same way. Um, I guess I have two last questions.
Mm.
Anybody interested in getting into truck parking, like what advice could you tell yourself a couple years ago that you can now tell somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if I was getting into it now, I would look at up and coming communities that are growing at a rapid rate where there's heavy industrial coming in. And looking back at it, I would do everything in my power to acquire that land that is in that growing community. Just because location is key, right? And when you're by warehouses and in those heavy industrial areas where there's communities right next to it, that's a great place to be, and it'll bring consistent revenue, right? um,
Hmm.
and getting back into not only location, but just being in it, man. I mean, I remember when we started our first yard, and I'm still in it right now. I was on a roller 2 weeks ago, and it's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, you got to do myself and Abby. When we opened that first yard, we were on the rollers, we were in the trenches, we were setting up fences and doing a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
don't care how many. I love being in the dirt. You know what I mean? I like getting my
Same.
hands dirty. Like I said, I if I don't get something done every day, I don't feel accomplished, right?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of getting dirty. Don't be afraid of getting out there and building relationships.
Hmm.
But at the same time, you just got to make sure you do right by the customers. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Not only do you want to have the right location, you want to put in the work, but you have to deliver the service that you say you're going to deliver.
Yeah.
And obviously, things are easier said than done. You are going to make mistakes along the way, but that's a part of the learning process, and the part of being an entrepreneur. Man, you're gonna hit some speed bumps, and you just got to overcome them, and you know keep praying to the Lord, and
Hmm.
and do right by the customers. Because at the
Good.
end of the day, I mean, like you said, like the guys in your yard, you know, um,
Hmm.
like I'm all about relationships. There's been so many cases where guys in my yard have referred me other people or sending me people to my yard. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, at the day, just it's the little things that add up,
That's
on a
awesome.
day to
Yeah.
day. So
Well, I think I know the answer to the last question, but I like to ask it to everybody.
mm,
Who do you look up to and why?
man, honestly, I mean, again, I'm not a perfect man. I'm not trying to put that across, but I look up to the Lord, and I see the
Yeah.
things that He sacrificed for us, and the things that He went through, and for us, again, us being here, we're all just trying to provide, make memories with our families, our friends,
Yeah.
build a business, have fun while we're doing it, and yeah, I look up to Him and what He's done for our sins, and I put Him first in everything we do. I have to speak to Him on a daily basis, and I have to trust that things happen for a reason, whether they're good or bad, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I've learned this over the last couple years that it feels better. It's better to be a blessing than to be blessed, right? You know what I mean? So I'm
Mm.
only 36 years old,
Hmm.
But my mentors have done a lot more than me and made a lot more money than me, right? And it's
Right.
through those conversations is where I learned the most, right?
Right.
So, and I don't know it all, obviously, but for me, it's like, how do I pass that along to the next person, right? Even if it's through a conversation. There's
Hmm.
been so many one-time conversations that have changed my life for the better, dude. It's crazy, you
I
know?
agree.
It's crazy. And until you go through it, it's like, wow, like, and then you now, like us being the next generation coming up, it's like now we can do that for someone else, you know?
Yeah.
And but at the end of the day, like I always say, it's not when you know the information, what are you going to do with that information, right? It's like, are you just going to know it and not take action, or are you going to take action on that information, right?
Right.
And so yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's
Hmm.
who I look up to. And I believe someone said this, but I look up to myself in 5 years. You know,
Yeah.
who's Adam
Yeah.
going to be in 5 years? Who's going to be Adam in 10 years? Like at the end of the day, as men, we want to continue to grow. You know, in all aspects, right? Like, how can I be a better friend, a better partner, a better husband, a better father, and all those other things? So, yeah, I mean, I again, not only looking up to the Lord, but I got to look up to myself and make sure that I'm keep growing on a yearly basis. But everything takes time, you know. But it helps to have those people in your life that have been through more life than you, right? If you're
Yes.
trying to sell a business for $200 million, you better talk to someone who sold their business for $200 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to own real estate, you better talk to someone that owns 100 doors. You know,
Yeah.
and thank God, again, He's put those people in my life. And but at the same time, it's again, you got to take action. You know, information is useless if you don't do nothing about it.
No, man, I always just love having conversations with you. I always feel like I'm so optimistic and so happy. And I, for everybody else, listening, thanks so much for joining, Adam. I really appreciate you. You're a wonderful property member. I think you're a great dude. And until next
Appreciate
time, I'll talk to you all later.
it. All right, sounds good. God bless.